No daughter of mine will marry a man with grease permanently stuck under his fingernails. Those were the icy words of Eleanor Sterling, the 58-year-old CEO of a global fashion empire in New York, when her daughter Sophie, 24, walked into her penthouse suite holding the hand of a man named Leo. Leo wasn't wearing a suit. He was wearing worn-out work boots and a flannel shirt. "Mother, this is Leo," Sophie said, her voice shaking but determined. "He's a mechanic. We're getting married next month." Eleanor didn't just freeze. She laughed, a cold, cruel sound that echoed off the marble walls. "A mechanic? Have you lost your senses, Sophie? You are the heiress to the Sterling name. You are supposed to marry a senator or a CEO, not someone who changes oil for a living." She turned to Leo with a look of pure disgust. "And you, how much do you want? How much to walk away and leave my daughter alone?" Leo stepped forward, looking Eleanor in the eye. "I don't want your money, Mrs. Sterling. I love your daughter. We're going to build a life together." Eleanor slammed her champagne glass onto the table, shattering it. "Build a life? With what? Minimum wage? If you choose him, Sophie, you leave this family. No trust fund, no penthouse, no access to my contacts. You will be destitute. I'd rather be poor with him than rich and lonely like you," Sophie said quietly. "Come on, Leo." Sophie packed a single suitcase and walked out of the life of luxury she had known since birth. She moved into a small, cramped apartment above Leo's garage. 5 years passed. Eleanor sat alone in her massive, empty penthouse. She had millions in the bank, but no one to share dinner with. She often looked out the window, smirking to herself, thinking, "Sophie is probably miserable, scrubbing grease out of his shirts, regretting the day she walked out on me." But the silence of the mansion eventually became too loud. Driven by a mix of arrogance and a sliver of guilt, Eleanor hired a private investigator to find them. She expected to find an address in a slum. Instead, she was given coordinates to a massive estate in Silicon Valley. Confused, Eleanor flew out and took a car to the location. When she arrived, her jaw dropped. It wasn't a garage. It was the headquarters of Leotech Green Energy, a multi-million-dollar company revolutionizing electric car batteries. And there, in front of a stunning glass-walled mansion nearby, was Sophie. She looked radiant, dressed in professional attire, holding the hand of a beautiful 5-year-old girl. Leo walked out to meet them, looking sharp and commanding respect as he instructed his staff. Eleanor stepped out of the car, her legs trembling. She watched as Leo kissed Sophie and swung his daughter into the air. They weren't struggling. They were thriving. They had built an empire on their own terms, without a penny of her money. Eleanor's pride shattered instantly. She walked up the driveway, tears blurring her vision. "Sophie?" she whispered. Sophie turned, surprised. She didn't look angry, she looked at peace. "I was so wrong," Eleanor sobbed, falling to her knees in the driveway. "I thought money was the only thing that made a man worthy. I see now that he has given you everything I couldn't. Please, can you ever forgive a foolish old woman?" Leo walked over and offered his hand to help her up. "We don't hold grudges here, Eleanor. We only build futures." Sophie hugged her mother tightly. "Meet your granddaughter, Mom." In that moment, Eleanor realized that while she had built a fortune, her daughter had built a life. She learned that true worth isn't found in a bank account or a job title, but in hard work, vision, and the courage to love who you want.